What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. What's happening, friends? What we doing tonight? We cooking? We chilling? We hanging out? We just having a good time? We slow motion? How y'all feeling inside of the chat? What's up, Sarah? Rod Brown in the building. Booker Kenny, what's happening? Michael Mitchell Jr., Spaces. Peter Investor, what up, though? What's up, friends? Let me make sure I got this set up correctly before we get started with the show. Let me just first say I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on the face of this earth. And without you, there would be no me. So I always want to show up with appreciation, with acknowledgement, and I'm humbled. I'm truly humbled by you guys always supporting me, always loving me, and always showing love. It does not go unnoticed. It does not go unappreciated. Unappreciated. You guys are the greatest ever. What's up, Shayla? What up, J Ben? What up to all of my friends? What up to Michael Penix, Yakar, all of my friends? What up, Kojak? What's happening, y'all? Y'all ready to get started? I'm gonna just get my thoughts off. I won't be before you long. You know, Wednesday night is an opportunity for me to be able to catch up on sleep. I did go to the gym today. I did have some fun. I did go out in the streets, and so I got a little bit to eat before I came here. And it's a lifestyle. It's absolutely a lifestyle. Everything that you do is a lifestyle. Everything that you get into, it becomes a part of your lifestyle. It becomes a part of your habit. Whatever it is that you do, whoever it is that you surround yourself by, the things that you take in on a regular basis, it ultimately is going to transition into being a part of your lifestyle. I cannot emphasize this enough. And this is leading me into the conversation that I want to have with you guys tonight. And that, have you noticed that the majority of the people that continue to go down these paths and support whatever it is that they're supporting, they continue to get the same results? Contrary to popular belief, and I communicate this to my Patreon members and my bag chasers on a regular basis. So if you are a Patreon member, if you are a bag chaser, because the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. If you are, then you've heard me say a couple of different things that I'm gonna say tonight, but I'm gonna transition it and I'm going to help you to understand it from a cultural relationship and even from a spiritual perspective, right? And financially, I always talk about, and I've even mentioned it on the Millionaire Morning Show, is who you are and the decisions that you make today is largely going to shape and define who you are tomorrow. Even when it comes to relationships, I tell you guys and I say, hey, when you're vetting or when you're trying to figure out who it is that you want to be with, you want to vet for the direction that you're going in. You want to vet for who you are to become, not for who you are today. Because if you're choosing, and this is why these applications keep you in this cycle of continuing to be in an application, even if you get on these apps, you get on the Bumbles, you get on the Tinder, and you meet your wife or you meet your spouse or you meet the person who you're in a long term relationship with, a lot of times it doesn't transition into being anything long term or forever because the goal is to operate in your forever purpose. Because if you operate in your forever purpose, then that means that you're continuously growing. If you are always just in a relationship or you are in a situationship, chances are you're going to at some point take 10 steps back in order to continue to crawl forward, but you don't know the fact that you're suffering. And so as a result of it, what you wind up doing is saying, well, I wouldn't change who I am, or what I've been through made me who we are today. But let me tell you something. In a lot of instances, that is a horrible, horrible result for what your life is. We're going to cook today. We're going to cook all the way across the board. When somebody says, I wouldn't change who I was, or they say, who I or what I've been through and the people that I've been around and my circumstances and my lifestyle and my background and whatever it is that I've been through ultimately made me who I am today. That is a horrible, for some people, not everybody, but for a lot of us, it is a horrible way to go about looking at life. because ultimately there's a lot of people that came from you where you come from. Let's say we all was born in the hood. A lot of us was born in less than ideal circumstances, or we was born in environments that wasn't great for us. Don't you know the amount of people that didn't make it to be here today would have said the exact same thing regardless of what their circumstances was? It's people in jail today, in prison for the rest of their life, that has that same sentiment. It's people that have payday loans that's never ever going to get out of debt. It's people that literally is stuck in a relationship that is not best for them. It is people that literally go to church every day looking for somebody to save them or for something to fall out of the sky. And they give their money over into these churches where these pastors is out here marrying 18-year-olds that they groomed since they was 14 and 13 years old. And they saying, yes, pastor. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that come to me and the amount of people that were evangelists or they were preachers. And this is the honest to God truth on my father's grave. There are preachers, evangelists, prophets, people that prophesy, and they did all of that stuff. And it was real to them at that time. And they were promised something, but they never truly understood the word of God and how it transitioned into their life or how it translated into what it was that they were supposed to do. Then they tap into me and they get a coaching call and they say, Anton, I believed, I thought that this was the way to go, but I'm broke. And I don't even have a pension. I don't have a 401k. I don't even know how I'm going to survive. And so, should I then say to them, well, walk by faith and not by sight? Because that's basically what these people that you are following telling you to do. They're not giving you no real solutions. Listen, listen, listen. Derrick Jaxn is very much still thriving. Occasionally, occasionally, I put a reminder in my phone, right? And what that reminder allows for me to do is to, and I put it on there every quarter, like once a quarter, 4 times a year, I put a reminder on my calendar to make sure that I go and check out Derrick Jaxn on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. 4 times a year, I literally put it in my calendar to go and check on Mr. Jaxn. And the reason that I do that is to keep me reminded and grounded in the idea that no matter what this guy has done, and no matter how much he's gotten exposed, and no matter how many chicks that he's bust down, is still a group and an army of women that is willing to listen to him and swear by the gospel of Jaxn. Swear by the gospel of Jaxn. Why? Why? And it's the same concept that I just introduced to you. Whatever it is that you then subject yourself to and you believe in early enough, it then become ingrained and indoctrinated in you. You know why it's so difficult to get away from hip hop music? One of the biggest vices that I have. Let me be transparent because, when I have these conversations with you guys, I'm not always speaking from the perspective of how you should do things differently. Sometimes, sometimes I'm speaking from the perspective of real life experience, and then I'm translating it over to you so I can help you to understand how you can then get away from it, overcome it, or why you are in a situation that you're in. Sometimes it's just a level of understanding that I'm imparting over to you in order to help you get out of the situation that you're in. You know why it's so difficult for us to divest ourselves from the thing that we know is culturally the worst for us? We know definitively, I know definitively, that the culture that we subject ourselves to is trash. I know this. This is not something that I'm confused about. This is not something that I'm trying to figure out. This is definitively the truth. But it's hard. And I mean, it is very much the most difficult battle that I've ever had in my entire life. Man, do you know how many times that I've sworn myself off from hip hop and rap culture? I'm being absolutely transparent. I'm coming to you, helping you to understand that you're not alone on this journey. Your vice or the things that you take in on a regular basis, the thing that can hold you back from your greatness can very much be different from mine. It could be a relationship coach, a guru, something that you subjected yourself to. You could be having a hard time getting out the game because you so used to the fast money. You could be trying to get out of the scamming world, because what I'm having this conversation with you tonight about, and even though I put a lot of different examples inside of the title of this video because it helps me to illustrate my point, my goal tonight is not to just hold you accountable. My goal tonight is to relate to you, but to help you to understand that you're not in this alone. And it is a way for you to get yourself out of this circumstance and whatever it is. And I don't care what it is. You could be bad with money. You could be addicted to smoking. You could be addicted to hoes. You could be addicted to young hoes. And you know that it ain't the thing that you're supposed to do. But you so busy looking for people to agree with you. You looking for your tribe because you're looking for people to trauma bond with. And when we then listen to these hyenas, ladies, hear me out. When you listen to these hyenas on the internet, and they tell you, hey, this man ain't no good, or you know what I'm saying? It ain't no good men out here, or hey, they must be gay. They don't want us, they want each other. Don't you know that that's not true? And it absolutely is not supposed to be for you, but because you're so used to seeking validation instead of seeking solutions and seeking growth and seeking understanding, and everything you do, you're supposed to be getting understanding. Instead of you leaning into that, we lean back into the thing that's our safe zone that ultimately make us feel good instead of giving us a better result. And so it's the same thing that drug addicts go through. Drug addicts on a regular basis are not necessarily wanting to be drug addicts, but they're used to falling back into their norm that allows for them to get a little bit of relief or a little bit of growth. And so you get that dopamine hit in the same way that they smoke that pipe or they get that heroin, right? And they got that monkey on their back. And it's so bad for them that they need it to survive. An alcoholic that's been an alcoholic for so long has become alcoholic dependent. And so what happens is it basically gives them some sense of normalcy, and it brings them back to the relief that they need in order to continue to survive and endure through whatever it is that they fighting through on a regular basis, but it doesn't solve the problem. And a heroin addict gotta keep getting that hit. They gotta get that hit every single day in order for them to feel better or to feel a sense of normalcy, because your norm is abnormal. Your norm is abnormal because what's normal for you, and this is why they say that, you know what I'm saying? People that ultimately are looking for understanding are the ones that or normal ain't normal anymore, because we've then, messed up our senses, or we've desensitized ourselves, and all of the shit that we see and we endure through, or what we see on a daily basis is not supposed to be there. And going back to a previous part of the conversation where you said, well, if I didn't go through what I went through, in yesteryear, then I wouldn't be where I am today. You supposed to be way further ahead. You supposed to be successful. You supposed to have money. You supposed to be married. You supposed to be in a great space. You supposed to have awesome children. You supposed to have great relationships, great networks. You supposed to be incredibly spiritual. You supposed to be on your way to being one of the greatest all time. And the normal excuse and the normal thing that people will say to us is, well, everybody can't be rich, but you not everybody. You special. Your mama never told you that you was special because she was too busy leveraging you against your father. And so all she did was make you a son husband. And she never told you you was special. She never told you the truth because the truth wasn't in her. You special. You're not even supposed to be comparing yourself to regular people. You are irregular, abnormal, successfully stupid idiot. That's what you are. It is worse for you. It's 10 times worse for you because you know better. And because you know better and you're not operating out of ignorance, and so you intentionally continuing to go back to that thing that's bad for you, you supposed to be doing better. And so now you have the responsibility of doing better, but you continue to do the wrong thing. And so you now have to be doubly judged, or you have to be doubly held accountable because you know better. And so it's better to be ignorant and do the thing rather than not be ignorant and still go into it acting like you didn't understand what you was getting yourself into. And it's the same thing for women. You know better. You know better. We wasn't supposed to be born into trash and poverty. Of course we supposed to suffer. Of course we supposed to go through things. Every man is supposed to go through something in order to become the man that he's supposed to be, but it's supposed to be suffering in a controlled environment. You're not supposed to have PTSD. You're not supposed to hear gunshots and that shit just be normal. Baby girl, I know it's normal for you to have children out of wedlock, or for niggas to run a train on you, but that's not supposed to be normal. That's not right. It's not normal. They wasn't supposed to be fucking on you and they ain't care nothing about you. What make you think that that's supposed to be your norm? What I went through made me who I am today. Yes, you a slut. They not gonna tell you the truth though, because it's not PC. It's not the thing that you're supposed to hear. It's not the thing that we're supposed to say. It doesn't make you feel good. You a slut. That's what they made you. You're not good for society. You're not a blessing to somebody else. You a hoe. And I say it respectfully because you're not supposed to be, and you got a brighter future ahead of yourself. But you so busy leaning into the trauma that you used to go through in order to validate who you are that you then look for other sluts and other hoes in order to make you feel good about yourself. And all they doing is continuing to keep you in the same circumstance that you in or that you found yourself in the first place. And you gonna die a slut. And that's no glory in that. There's nothing in that. There's no blessings in that. You leave this earth worse off had you not been here. You were better off not even being here if the sum total of your life was just that you was just gonna get fucked on, nutted on, and that's just the end of the conversation. They gave you a couple dollars. Y'all value money so much. You think that it's so valuable. It's not even worth the paper that it's printed on. And if you was a part of the Millionaire Morning Show and you was spending just as much time over there getting this game or in the Patreon as you was over there hating and complaining in the comments all the time about what it is that's going on in these streets and this society, you would actually be able to correlate the two and put it together. So you can't have one without the other, and you only getting half of the information because you so busy looking to get entertained instead of being educated. And so we got to put the medicine inside of the candy in order for you to grow because you not really paying attention to what's going on unless it give you some dopamine hits. And that's why y'all got to have short form. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of these platforms got to give you shorts and reels because your attention span is so short. Because if somebody ain't fucking water waving or telling you something that make you feel good, or they're not catching your attention within the first 5 to 7 seconds, you click off. And it's a ton of information. Man, listen, it's a ton of information in some of this stuff. It's so much game. You can literally get rich off of information if you was really paying attention and your attention span was longer than 5 to 7 seconds. It's the same thing when it comes to relationships. If you can't get past the aesthetics of your first impression, because they never get a second chance to make a first impression in front of you, and so you never get the chance to understand who they are. You don't get to see who they are. You don't get to see what their mindset is. You don't get to see how they treat people. You don't get to see what they do for a living. You don't get to see what it is that they do, what their goals are. He never communicated that to you because he never had to. All he had to do was be 6 feet, have a six pack, and pack a little bit more than 6 inches, not even make six figures, and he fucked you. You gave your whole body the very thing that was the most precious to you. Your hymen was broken by a nigga that didn't give a fuck about you because you have a 5 to 7 second attention span and you can't even see past. That's why they're able to develop the algorithms that they developed, why they was able to easily test out and be so successful when it comes to these social media platforms and this technology that they implemented because they already taken it from your real life experiences. They see it and you demonstrate it to them every single day. You don't go through and read the profiles, even on these dumbass apps. You ain't going through and reading the profiles, trying to understand who they are, looking through all of the videos, trying to see who it is that you're dealing with. You gave a quick overview, 5 to 7 seconds. I like him. He got pretty eyes, but he a demon. He got pretty demon eyes, and you so attracted to it. And so you never got the opportunity to really mine through the information because you were so short-sighted. And anybody that give you a presentation layer is able to scam you into their bed. You didn't know that scammers came in all forms. It's not just financially, but you value and you love money so much that it's easy to get you for the money. And so the only thing you care about is whether or not you get in your bag. But don't you know that bag chasers is just a term? But the idea of being a bag chaser, being a Patreon member, is that we go and we chase after the things that's best for us, understanding that all the good things come along with it. The money come along with it, the relationships come along with it, the greatness come along with it, the networking come along with it, the spirituality come along with it, the good friendships come along with it. That's what being a bag chaser really is. That's why we meet in person. That's why we got the Discord. That's why we connect. That's why we do Sock Club. That's why we do the mastermind sessions. That's why we drop the videos. That's why we connect with each other on a regular basis. If you look in these chats, it's the same people that rock with me over here, that rock with me over there. And when I come to their city, they show me love because it's a lifestyle. But you can't see past your arm. If it don't go that far, you can't see it. And so anything that looks pretty in front of you, you willing to fuck it. But don't you know that that's a demon? They rotten to their core. They rot. Would you bite into an apple that's rotten on the inside, but just got a pretty shine on the outside? That's all they doing. They dressing it up the same way that they do the commercials. You get so enticed by the commercials. You see these burger commercials. You see all of these food commercials, and the chicken fall and it bounce up. Man, don't you know that all of that is fake food? It's not even cooked all the way through. That the very thing that you biting into is rotten to its core, but you only looking at the presentation layer, and so all they got to do is put a little bit of mask on, and that's how they beat their face. He jump in the gym and he spent a whole lot of time in the gym, but he never worked on the inside. He never worked on his inner man. His outer man, his presentation layer is beautiful. The inside of him is rotten to the core. And so because you don't understand who he is, you think that the dating phase is an opportunity for you to get to know somebody. But when I tell you you shouldn't be dating, instead of you saying, "Well, what should I do?" You say, "Well, I don't like that. I reject it." But don't you realize that you ain't even got the results, that you never had the results, and the very people that you listening to in order to get the results, they rotten to their core too? I looked at a Derrick Jaxn live stream just for reference. Every quarter, I go back and check. He had 800,000 subscribers. He got more subscribers today than he had when he got exposed. He got more subscribers today than he had when he got exposed. Why is that? Why is that? And I ain't hating on him. Go get your money. Finesse these hoes out of everything that's good for them. Because if you don't do it, somebody else will. Because they chasing. They chasing the worst thing for them. And they continue to go ahead and do the wrong thing every single day. Why are y'all taking relationship advice from a motherfucker that can't even keep his family together? How is that possible? How can you take relationship advice from a nigga that can't keep his family together? If you understood your word, then you would also understand that Moses couldn't even communicate that well. That's why God gave him Aaron. They don't talk about Aaron. They only talk about Moses because they so busy consumed with parting the Red Sea and let my people go. Let my people go. You so consumed with the story. You so consumed with all of the theatrics and shit like that you never truly got the message. Moses' right-hand man was Aaron because Moses couldn't even really communicate that well. The very thing, the vessel by which God decided that he wanted to use in order to communicate with the people wasn't even what the people thought was supposed to come to him. That's why they rejected Jesus. Paul, David. It goes straight on down the line. The very thing that you think is supposed to come in the form as, that ain't it. Because God can't get no glory in that. If he gave it to you in the perfect presentation layer, it wouldn't take any faith or any work on your end in order to really believe him. So he said, listen, you got to believe in me. You got to believe in me. It can't come in the way that you think it's going to come. You keep praying to God thinking that he think you so special when there's 9 billion people on this earth. So he's supposed to just talk directly to you. No, he sent you a messenger. He sent you the message. And when you get to the pearly gates and they kick your ass out, and you got to be accountable for everything that you do, and you're going to say, hey, God, but you never told me. You're going to say, yeah, I did. I sent you the message. I gave you the message. It came on Wednesday, May 29th at 11:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you wasn't listening. And what you decided to do, you decided to do it your way. This is your chance right here, right now. And it ain't coming from me, it's coming through me to you. And so I can't even take the credit for the conversation that I'm having right now because it's still on you. I will never be able to take the credit for your greatness for the decisions that you make to change your life to do something well. It's not even about me. It's only about me making sure I give you and being obedient, because obedience is better than sacrifice. And so I got to be accountable for the things that come out of my mouth. So I got to tell the truth. I can't sit here and tell you something that's going to be bad for you, because I got to be accountable for that shit. See, I stand up for something, and I mean it means something to me, because I actually want my cake and eat it too. I want everything. I don't answer the man. I don't answer the Puff. I don't answer the Clive Davis. I don't answer the 50. I don't answer the J. I don't answer to none of these motherfuckers. I don't answer to the Illuminati. I answer to God. It's only me and God. And when I jump on these live streams, the first thing that I do is I get on my knees and I say, hey, God, tell me what it is that I need to say in order to be exactly what you want me to be, so I can give the people what they need in order to be successful. And whether they take it or not, that's on them. And so my goal is to give you the information. And as I go through it, even when I'm going through it financially, even when I'm going through it and building businesses, what I learn as far as my lifestyle and the things that I go through, and the reason why I document my life is so that I can basically give you the blueprint of what success is supposed to be, so we can remove the excuses and you can stop begging other people for reparations. So you can stop begging everybody for information that's already right there in front of your face. It's right there. It's plain. Made it plain. Also, you're going to know them by their fruits. And so why you not putting it together and saying, wait a minute. Why is all of these motherfuckers following Derrick? Because the path to righteousness is narrow, but hell enlargeth itself. I don't even want what everybody else wants. I don't even want what everybody else wants. You know why? Think about this. Think about it. Put it together. Listen here with your heart. Listen with your heart. Don't you know the people that got the biggest platforms and the most subscribers is the brokest? And I'm not even talking about just financially. The most famous people are broke. Antonio Brown got more fucking followers. He probably got 300 times the followers, 3,000 times the followers that I got, but he ain't got a two dimes, two nickels to rub together. It's not about how much you get and how many followers you have. It's about how blessed you are and what you can keep. And my blessings don't come from the people, it comes from God. And so I'm always going to be obedient to what I'm supposed to do. And you can't even listen long enough to pay attention in order to get what you need in order to be successful. So you challenge yourself. You need to challenge yourself to pay attention to the people that you listen. I'm not even telling you don't follow them. I'm not even telling you don't rock with them. I think that it's some people that's incredibly entertaining, and I love to see them crash out, or I love to see their message, or I think that they orate really well, and it's something that I can learn from them fundamentally. Maybe I don't take their advice, but I look at the way that they communicate, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty incredible, right? I can learn anything from anybody. I can learn anything from the devil. Know the Bible back and forth. The devil know the Bible better than you do. There's some of the saints. That's why he's so easily able to beguile you, because he's able to use the information against you that you don't really understand. So I listen to him and I put him on my calendar and I go and check out Derrick Jaxn. Interesting. Look at the devil working. And I look at Umar Johnson, and every day y'all hair get nappier because you power to the people. You stink more because you want to be natural. Your hairline get more crooked. Your teeth get dirtier. Have y'all ever seen some of these Hebrew Israelites? Man, listen, man, I don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about. I'm just gonna keep it real. Have y'all ever seen some of these Hebrew Israelites? When I drive down the street, right, and I jump in a Porsche, let me let me stop for a minute. And I jump and I drive down the street, and I put on some of the worst things for me. So I'm always listening to the most ratchet music sometimes. And I either throw on some Larry June or some Peasy, or I might throw on a little bit of Nipsey Hussle. I might even throw on some Dolph. You know what I'm saying? And I'm riding down the street and I look at these motherfuckers and they got on their fringes, right? They fringes be at the bottom of their dashikis or whatever the hell you call it, that they ordered straight from China or the white man or some cotton mill that they say that they divested from, and they get they all of their little stuff from Amazon, and they do their little iron on shirts and shit like that. And I see some of their little girlfriends or some of their little chicks that's sitting on the side, that's in their little lawn chairs that they bought from Walmart, that ultimately continues to enrich the Walton family that they say that they so much against. And I look at them, right? And they chicks is looking real homely and they dusty and they dirty. You know what I'm saying? And if you walk past some of them and they speak too close to you, they breath be stanking. And I'm telling you, listen, this is my real life experience. Don't you try to discount what my experience is. I know what my experience is. I experienced motherfuckers like y'all over in Miami. Yep, we was over in Miami. I experienced y'all in Detroit. I seen y'all on the corners bothering people, trying to get people's attention when we was trying to continue to put the city on the map so that we can help people understand how the city is transitioning Detroit from being one of the worst cities in the world to one of the biggest come up stories of ever. Y'all was over there making it difficult, burning incense and sage, and y'all was over there putting smoke in the air, and y'all had y'all fucking fringes on, and y'all chicks was looking dusty as fuck, right? And so I'm looking at these women, and the women's breath stink, the kids is dirty and nasty, they ain't got no jobs. I be wondering to myself, if y'all are the chosen people and y'all so awesome, how come we don't know y'all by y'all fruit? Why are y'all so dusty? I have never in my entire life, not one time, and maybe I'm just off. Educate me, help me to understand. I've never one time in my entire life seen a rich, prosperous, well put together, nicely groomed Hebrew Israelite. Oh, Anton is calling it out. Oh, Anton is saying what's really on my mind. I'm just curious. I have never in my entire life. Yes, they do be living off they woman. They woman be the main bread makers. And these dudes be dusty, dirty, nasty. I know some of them personally. And they be out there with their Bibles, preaching, teaching, being false prophets, and having their fringes on, and bothering good working folk that's going to work every single day trying to take care of business. I be wondering to myself, how are y'all so able to recruit so well? How is it possible that y'all can recruit so effectively? What is enticing about seeing a bunch of broke dudes on the street, can't even claim the very houses that they live in? Woman is absolutely under duress. She pregnant and working at the same time. You don't even got a job. And the main thing that they go home to is they PlayStation 5. And I'll be like, how is this possible? How do y'all even have so much time to study? Y'all ain't got no jobs. And if they got a job, they not really educated. They don't really know how to do anything except for bother people. And they keep blowing smoke in the air. And they got on all of this fake plastic jewelry, and they be trying to look all extra Caesarish and shit like that. And I be like, man, you see that costume jewelry he got on? Don't you know that he got that from Amazon and Sheen? He got on the Sheen jewelry, the Sheen jewelry set. And then I seen one guy, and I guess that was a leader. He had on a WWF belt. It looked just like a WWF belt. Look, man, I'm trying to tell you. When you drive by these Hebrew Israelites sometimes, pay attention, look at the context clues. I have a bad habit of looking at the context clues. He had on what looked like a WWF belt, and it was big and gold. And I seen the Ultimate Warrior wearing that same fucking belt. And I said, who did he steal that from? Who made this man a WWE belt? Who? Harpo. Who this nigga? Who is him? Who is him? Where him come from? Harpo? But y'all follow him. And y'all want so hard and so fervently. Oh my God, I gotta pray for my people. I gotta pray fervently for y'all because y'all wanna believe so badly in something that you will then align yourself with somebody just based off of shit that they can't even control. You aligning yourself with somebody based off of the color of their skin and a standard that somebody gave to you, or whether or not you was 10% black. And that's how y'all decide whether or not y'all gonna rock with somebody. It ain't got nothing to do with whether or not they a good person, whether they stand on anything, what their morals and principles and values are. You just gonna support it just because it say black on? And half of y'all only doing it because you seen somebody else doing it for another race. And so you trying to compare yourself. And so you then make it a war. Now it's a race war. Now you don't like Chinese people because it's Chinatown. They got their own town. Why I can't have my own town? Chinatown, Mexican town, Greek town. We want a black town. You ain't got no original thought of your own. Every single thing that you stand on is based off of what somebody else is telling you. You ain't never bothered to do the research for yourself. Everything that you stand on is based off of what somebody else tell you. So Umar Johnson now can come along and for 15 fucking years, going on 16th year, can tell you motherfuckers to hit the Cash App, and you are fervently still hitting the Cash App in the name of building a school, and your kid is in high school now, about to graduate and go to college. He's still pitching his same punk ass pitch. Every school needs to have an agriculture program to where we learn how to grow our own pears and we learn how to grow our own watermelon. Yes, sir. And I can't stand these Negroes. Don't you know that Urkel? I can't believe who told Steve Urkel that he should marry a snow bunny. And I'm not even mad at snow bunnies. I know that you snow bunnies, you like to say that Dr. Umar Johnson hates you. King Kong consciousness don't hate you. It's just that I understand. I understand that y'all out here trying to get our young athletes in order to keep the system against us by draining the wealth from the black man and taking it to the white woman. Like, man, y'all still listen to this Hotep bullshit? Seriously? Seriously. Is that the message that y'all getting? And y'all like, yeah, we got to go and do a paint party at the FDGB ABCD EFG school that ain't never had a student in that bitch. Not one student can walk through and say, yeah, we absolutely continue to do it. Don't got a fruit to bear, but it's continuing to lead you niggas down the wrong path to destruction and take all of your dollars along with it. Can't believe it. Cannot believe that y'all still getting bullied like this. You dummy. You a dummy. You a dumb dummy. And it be the women, the ones that's the first ones in line. When you see these little stupid pastors, I was listening to that pastor the other day. I went and seen the clip just like everybody else of him grooming that chick since she was young. And I heard, I don't know for sure, but I read, I did a little bit of research, and they said, well, this woman in particular's parents was going through a divorce. I don't know how true it is. I'm just going to tell you what I read. Every single report that I read of this girl that he then married when she was 18 years old, since she was a young girl, 13, 14 years old, he was supposed to be the person that was counseling her parents when they were going through a divorce. And he was supposed to be the safe haven for the children. But he picked one out of all of them. And he said, I like that one right there. She cute. But I don't want to break the law, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to groom her. I'm going to have her in my program, in my church. Yes, Pastor. Preach, Pastor. In my church. And when she turned 18, that's a grown woman. And I got niggas inside of my Instagram comments talking about, but she legal though. Nah, you a predator. And every last one of these people is scammers and predators. They scammed y'all into believing that y'all was gonna be in a successful relationship or that some man was gonna take care of your whole ass by continuing to follow them and hitting the Cash App. And they still ain't giving you no results. They ain't giving you no game that you can come back to and lean into to ultimately get the results if you never listened to them in the first place. And the only thing you cared about was whether or not it sounded good when they told you. And we got these women in church saying, yes, Pastor, she's a grown woman. Let me go ahead and give you your new concubine, 63-year-old man, sitting there talking to an 18-year-old woman. That's a child. Give a fuck what the law says. Man, don't you know that this whole world is perverted? It's perversion. That if you let these people run amok and you had no rules, do you know how demonic this world will become? How evil you would see these people become? We already got the internet. The internet is already giving us more than a preview of what the real purge is supposed to be like. Listen, it ain't got nothing on those movies. The real purge If you let people run them up for 24 hours, they will burn this entire world to the ground. They already trying. They already trying. If it wasn't for the prayers of the righteousness and the people that actually come through in the clutch and stand up for something that's actually good and righteous and good for you in order to save you from yourself, you will be down there burning in hell right now. Couldn't even survive 30 days in your own neighborhood. Absolutely, positively tore up and demonic. It's our tax dollars that even give you the lifeline that you need in order to survive. And you sitting here talking about you got it out the mud on your own. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Even though I didn't want to. Even though I feigned the idea of continuing to pay more taxes so you can get social services, so you can sell your food stamps to the next person, so you can go and get that rock. I feigned the idea. Absolutely despise the fact that the government is taking my money so that they continue to support your bad habits. You trash. You nothing. You a piece of shit. That's what you are. You a hoe. You for the streets. I don't know if anybody ever told you the truth, but I'm gonna tell you the honest to God given truth that's straight up from the core of the bottom, straight to you. You are nothing. You have accomplished nothing but a tattoo on your face, butterfly eyelashes. You ain't never did nothing for nobody. You ain't never added value into nothing. Your entire life you lived on social services. You drained from other people. You did people dirty. And the only thing you giving out is diseases. 2 for 1. Chlamydia and herpes at the same time. And somebody gave you a camera. And so now you think you popular because you found a tribe to continue push out all of this negativity. And so now you continuing to say, let's normalize something. Let's normalize trauma. The only thing you need to do is shut the fuck up and listen so that you can learn something, because the greatest leaders was followers first, but you so busy talking and you don't know nothing. Everybody want to be a life coach at 21, 22, 23 years old. You're a fool. And you're going to have to be accountable for everything that you say. And ain't nobody actually told you the truth because everybody is trying to be so PC. But I'm going to be the daddy that your daddy should have been because your mama kicked him out of the house and she not even sure who your daddy is. And I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is this: you a piece of shit. Your whole sum total of your life. You raising kids that's ultimately gonna be a part of the penal system. And it's a fact, it's proven. You continuing to have sex with people that don't give a fuck about you, right? You continue to then seek growth and opportunity through the church. And they leading you down a path of destruction because you trauma bond and you went to the church that's the most popular. And everybody in that church, and you got smitten by the choir director because they play good music and they could preach with their fake ass hairline like Jamal Bryant, and they continue to make a mockery of everything that we supposed to stand on. And we don't have no culture. We don't have nothing that we stand on no more. And everything that we do, the first thing that you do when you open up your eyes in the morning is you pick up your phone and you look at what's happening on social media because you're looking for a dopamine hit. And if ain't nobody fucking you, then you're going to look for it on Instagram. And that's why y'all trying to make money on OnlyFans, because you don't have no real skills. You don't add no real value into nobody's life. And you think that the sum total of your life is based off of how many BBLs you can get and how much fat you can get sucked out of your stomach in order to put in your thighs. And so we don't value you the same because you ain't the queen that we thought you were. We seen the potential in you when you was little, but you continued to do the thing that was worse for you. And you want to hold me accountable for telling you the truth? Hold your motherfucking mama accountable because she did you dirty. I'm just telling you what you need in order to get your life together. You need to stop looking out the window and start looking in the mirror and understand that you a demon. You demonic. That's what you are. All you do is take souls every single day. All you do is do people dirty every single day. You ain't got no real friends. They don't really like you. If you made a transition over into doing the right thing, they would walk away from you. They would think that you too good for them. You know why? Because you keep the company of other women that ain't even doing the thing that's best for you. Them ain't your friends. Them your enemies. And the enemies is usually the ones that's trying to keep you down, because real friends, they want the best for you, even if it caused them to get away from you because they know what's best for. Have you ever seen an NBA player or a dude with great potential? If he got real friends, you know what he gonna do? He gonna say, man, I can't go that way with you because you going in the direction. And if I go with you and I got my background and they start to research me, they gonna kill your name as a result of it. So I gotta back up from you. That's what real friends do. Real friends want the best of you, even if they not right in front of you. It's not about being next to you. It's about pushing you. It's about getting you to the next level. I want the best for you. Listen, I got a ceiling. I've already exceeded whatever potential that I was going to have in my lifetime. I gave my life. I dedicated my life to doing the right thing. I ain't never been arrested. I ain't never did nobody dirty. I don't owe nobody no money. I did it right. I got it out the mud. I met every expectation that my family, my father, and everybody ever predicted for me. I was never even supposed to make it past 21 years old. I exceeded expectations. So everything I do is points on the board. But you better than me. You better than me. You talented. You more talented than me. You got better insight than me. You more educated than me. You got a better head on your shoulders. You taller than me. You better looking than me. It's no reason why you should not be better than me and that you shouldn't be taking this game and exceeding expectations. You know how many people would kill for what you got, for what you was naturally born with the gifts that God gave you, and you gonna waste it? I can't believe you're gonna waste your beauty. You wasting everything that was great about you. You wasting it. You desecrating yourself. You took the very thing, the precious gift of life and everything that God gave you, and you gonna throw it away. You're not even gonna nurture it. Have you ever read the story about the talents inside of the Bible where he gave the one that he gave the most talents to and he took away the one with the least amount of talents because they didn't nurture it. They didn't do what they were supposed to do with it and they gave it over to the one that had the most talents. You know why? Because he was the one that was doing the most with it. And you got all of these things in your life, and there's people that would kill to be in a position that you in. Y'all sitting here complaining about being in America, as fucked up as this country is. It's people that would die to get over here. They literally are getting massacred coming over here every single day. They waiting on the opportunity to take your place. They want everything you ever had because you privileged, you blessed. You was blessed to even born in the time frame that you born. Don't you know if you was born 100 years ago, it's a possibility you would not even have made it past 5 years old. Don't you know you would have been looked at as property 200 years ago, 300 years ago? And you're going to sit here and complain, and there's people that died for the opportunity for you to even vote, and you're going to sit here and tell me, oh man, it don't mean nothing. You don't know shit. You a dummy. You ignorant. And you too, homie. Yeah, you too. You wasted everything that your father went through, everything that your ancestors went through. You from king lineage, and you a peasant. Don't that make you feel bad? That every day the only thing that you look forward to is going home and playing video games or smoking trees, that you don't have no value to add to nobody, that you're not educated, that you can't do nothing, that everything that you do is always looking for a handout, that you got all of these opportunities and all of these tools, and the only thing you do is be in opposition. You a op. You a op to everybody that's around you. You don't do nothing. You don't do nothing. You can't help nobody. You keep talking about what kind of woman you want. Nigga, you don't need no woman, nigga. You need to be by yourself, alone, with your hands tied up. Because the minute that your hands get loose, all you're gonna do is beat off all day. You won't have no self-discipline. You can't even wait. Every opportunity that you get, the first thing that you do is cut on your computer so you can go and jack off in your room. Your whole room stink. Your whole room is full of demons, nigga. You need some Lysol, some Pine Sol, and some bleach in that bitch. Real talk. Everything that you do has always been destructive. You have no real gifts, no real talents that you nurtured, and everything that you have is gone to waste. It's unfortunate. And keep on talking about, yeah, man, I want this type of chick. I want that type of chick. Why? So she can be ruined as a result of being in your hands? You can't do nothing with her. Nigga, if God gave you the type of chick that you think that you wanted, man, you will fuck it up. You already fucked it up. You already had chicks in your life that you messed up. You couldn't hold on to them. Have you ever thought about the fact that you can't hold on to no woman? That no woman that's ever been in your presence ever been able to say, yeah, man, I learned something from him? That every chick that you leave or every chick that you leave in your wake, they now are worse off as a result of dealing with you? Have you ever thought about that shit? Y'all think that y'all so cool because you just doing shit. You just moving around. Nigga, you a wannabe ass motherfucker. You ain't got a clear thought. You ain't got no thought for your own. Every talking point that you got, you either got it from me or somebody else on the internet, and you can't even communicate clearly what your thoughts are. You can't even pick up a book and read 2 pages without having a run-on sentence. You never learn how to read past the second and third grade, nigga. How you gonna lead a woman and lead your family and you at a second and third grade reading level? How you gonna be a leader and you can't read, nigga? You was in class stuttering. You was afraid when the teacher called you to read. You in the same level as you was back then. Dropped out of school, didn't even get your GED, looking to get a handout, looking to get a hookup. Everything that you do, you a hookup ass nigga. This ain't the stream for that. This ain't the stream for me to tell you what you want to hear. This is the stream. This is a reality check stream. A reality check stream. That's what it is. We not here to make you feel good today. We here to make you feel like a piece of shit. Because nobody ever told you. And you becoming worse off every single day because it goes back to the same thing that I said in the beginning of this stream. Who you are, and the more that you continue to do that, the more you become it and you get hardened in it as you continue to get older. The things that you do and the things that you invest in when you young, when you in your 20s, the more that you put inside of your 401k, the more you put inside of your investments accounts, and the more you let that compound, it exponentially grows and you become more of that. It's the same thing when it comes to your relationships. It's the same thing when it comes to the people that you surround yourself with. If you go back to listen, you leave these people today, 10 years from now, they're gonna be doing the same thing and they just gonna be worse off. They just gonna have worse health. That's it. They still gonna be in the same hood, same crib, doing the same thing with no growth. That's why I don't go back to the hood. I don't see nothing there. Ain't nothing there. Ain't no growth. It get worse. That's why they gotta tear the whole thing down and start over. Ain't nothing there for me. It's death, dying. Stop telling me, hey man, that's who made you who you are. It's not. I was never supposed to be handicapped by being born in that place. That didn't make me tough. It didn't make me tough at all. We was born in some fucked up environments. PTSD, bro. It's a lot of people that didn't make it. A lot of your homegirls is out here suffering. A lot of these chicks that y'all went to high school with, man, they crying their eyes out every single night. And they looking for an answer, looking for growth, looking for help, looking for somebody to give them some kind of insight, and you can't deliver it to them because you're not a reflection of it yourself either. Blind leading the blind. Most of y'all started a YouTube channel where you started your content creation journey based off of the fact that you was just trying to get some visibility. The same reason why you got on Instagram. You ain't on here to be able to help nobody. You ain't on here to be able to do nothing for nobody. You ain't on here in order to be able to add value to nobody at all. It's the blind leading the blind. The blind leading, I told some other people, right? Just contrary to popular belief, I know a lot of people think that I just got here around the same time during the pandemic that Kevin Samuels blew up. And God bless my brother Kevin Samuels, and had an opportunity to be able to tap in with his mom and his daughter recently. But a lot of people, because they just discovered me around that time, think that I had just got on the scene. But I've been on the scene for a long time. I've been putting in work for a long time. One of the things that me and Kev used to talk about was the fact that we would not remove or delete the very first videos or the old footage of us because we wanted to see people, we wanted to help people to see the progress that we made along the way, or to basically document our life journey. And that was one of the goals, in addition to whatever it was that we was doing at the time. One of our goals was to make sure that people know where we came from so they can see the blueprint of how it is that you continue to grow. And so you got to have a pure heart. You got to have a real reason as to why you're doing this, or it's not going to be meaningful to you. A lot of people ask me, Anton, why are you so dedicated? How are you so not able to get burned out? Because I genuinely believe in what I'm doing. I genuinely believe this is not a job for me. This is not something that I'm into because, you know what I'm saying? I just want to do it because, oh man, no. The reason that I've been able to be so consistent with it is because it's meaningful to me. It means a lot to me. I actually care about what I'm doing and who I'm affecting and the words that's coming out of my mouth. And so I'm not missing on something that I genuinely care about. You can't get me to take a break. I don't take days off from love. I don't take days off from telling people the truth. And I do this even when I'm giving you a reality check, even when I'm telling you the truth about who you really are, because nobody around you is going to tell you because they care about whether or not you're going to perceive them the right way rather than giving you the right information. I do it out of love because hopefully somebody hears this message and they say, yo, all right, you know what? Maybe not everything that he says apply to me, but a lot of what he says was true. Instead of me looking around and saying, ooh, who he talking about, I'm wondering if this is applicable to me. And if I decided that I wanted to make an adjustment and I wanted to stop jacking off every day and I wanted to start getting myself together instead of complaining, instead of asking for a woman, being in a position to attract the thing that I am, if I decided to do that, what would that look like? That's the way that you're supposed to take it. You're supposed to take the criticism out of love, because I'm not saying it to put you down. I'm saying it so that you can get a reality check and look in the mirror and say, damn, you know what? I can do better. I can have better results. And you can get the chick, you can get the money, you can get the assets, you can have your cake and eat it too, but it's gonna come with a honest to God assessment of who you are, so you can make the adjustment to ultimately get to the results and be the person that you're supposed to be. But you can't get there the way that you've been doing it. You've been doing the same thing every single day. Listen, no matter how many times that you swipe right, or how many times that you swipe left, or how many applications that you get on, and how many posts that you put up, and how naked that you become, no matter what, you're not gonna get no different results. You're not gonna attract any different people. You're not. That's not how it works. And the beautiful thing about God, and I tell this to people all the time, is one of the reasons why you don't see a whole lot of people progress the way that you think that they should be progressing, in the same way that the world progresses, because God don't operate like that. And the way that God operates is, if you're going to do it and then attach his name to it, if it's truly of him. I'm not talking about these false prophets. I'm not talking about these fake ass churches. I'm not talking about Jamal Bryant. I'm not talking about the dude that groomed the 14-year-old that ultimately went married the 18-year-old. I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about these punk ass churches down in Atlanta that continue to fly the alphabet flag and then they say that they of God. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about this punk ass Catholic church that continue to embrace getting money, and then they continue to be a part of whatever it is that's going on in the darkest parts of the world. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm not talking about these punk ass preachers that we now act like we forgot about, but we know that they were still touching little kids, and it was a whole rash of dudes that was out there getting arrested that was a part of the Catholic Church. Yep. I'm not talking about any of these hoteps or any of these Hebrew Israelites that's out here trying to preach the word. I'm not talking about any of these jailhouse Muslims that lean into it but actually operate like a gang inside of the prisons. I ain't talking about none of them. I ain't talking about none of that. None of that. None of that bullshit. None of this dressing it up in order to use it to do things that's not best for you. I'm talking about real life growth, real life opportunity, real life transition, real life reality check, so that you can ultimately get the thing that you can attract, not the thing that you think that you deserve, but thing that's best for you. And the only way that you can do that, the only way that you can get there, and I keep telling y'all, God does not allow for his children to skip steps. You got to learn the lesson. You got to pass the test, or he going to make you repeat it every single time. That's the way that righteousness works. In order to be able to attach God's name to it, you got to pass the test. You cannot skip steps. That's not how it works. You got to graduate level to level, level to level. You cannot give steak over into a baby. The baby got to eat baby food. When you're a newborn again creature in Christ, you got to grow. You got to get this work. You got to study. You got to actually implement it. That's why he says, "Be faithful over little, and then I'll make you ruler over much." Is because it is a growth to growth, growing learning curve that ultimately you then get the understanding, and then seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. When you learn exactly how it is that God operates, you don't worry about the results. You more or less embrace the process, and you just get the results that come along with it. We don't have to seek it, it already comes with it. I don't have to worship it, it already comes with it. Right? Me living in my purpose ultimately gets me the results. I don't have to worry about chasing it, it automatically comes with it. That's what being a chaser really is. But we don't want to have that conversation. We don't want to embrace the growth. We don't want to do things differently. The only thing that we want to focus on is what makes us feel good. And you doing the thing that make you feel good is going to have you busting hell right open. It's going to have you ruining your relationships. It's going to have you trauma bonding with people that's not best for you. It's going to have your algorithm fucked up. It's going to have the things that you attract yourself to be absolutely horrible. And it's going to have you looking for dopamine hits in every single way that's not best for you. And you're going to fuck up your life. And then you're going to start to give that same generational curse over into your children, because nobody told you that you shouldn't have children out of wedlock. And instead of you taking accountability for the situation that you put your kids in, you keep thinking that it's cool and that it's everybody else's fault, and blaming it on the man and blaming it on the woman, instead of looking in the mirror and said, I need to do better. I got to do better. And now at this point, it's not even about you. When you have children, it no longer becomes about you. It's more or less about the people that then depend on you. That's why men are in a unique position, because we understand that we come last because we put everybody else before us. Real men, not men that's sitting on a couch, hobosexuals looking at couch search, living with their chick. Real men understand that in reality, regardless of whether or not we own our purpose or not, we really come last because we make the sacrifice for everybody else that's around us. Real leaders of companies, we really put everybody else first because we understand the best version of you is the best version of ourselves. So we so busy nurturing you and nurturing talent and doing the right thing for you. The real people that love you will always be focused on what's best for you. They're not even thinking about themselves. That's what love is, even sexually. That's how you know we don't give a fuck about you. Because if we just fucking you to get a nut, then that means that you just a thing. You just a situationship. But if we fucking you, or we making love to you, or we want the best for you, and we so focused on you getting off, that's how I know I care about you. Because I want the best thing for you. Everything that you do, it translates into every single part of your life. Financially, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, it's always supposed to translate. Your life is supposed to be a one for one for one for one for one. It's supposed to be the same way across the board. And if you have any inconsistencies, or you great in this but you trash in that, then that means you got some work to do. You got some work to do. If you great at making money but you absolutely trash when it comes to people, you got some work to do. If you have no spiritual connection and you have no consistency in your life and your calendar is completely misaligned, but you can dedicate yourself to video games, you got some work to do. If everybody in your life hates you and you continue to tell yourself that you're an introvert and you continue to lean on something that somebody taught you to believe, you got some work to do. We all got work to do. We all got growth that we need to make. But the first thing that we got to do is we got to take accountability for who we are. And if somebody can't tell you who you are without you getting overly offended, then we got a bigger problem on our hands, because you can't even grow unless you start to become honest about what it is in a situation that you're in the first place. If you don't even take inventory of what you got inside of your backpack, how are we going to sit here and be able to build a house? Chris Monroe, STL, St. Louis says, another excellent sermon this week. You are appreciated, my brother. Leading from the front is the only way. Truth always prevail in the end. Shout out to the Chasers. Shout out to the Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. High Tolerance says, street dudes and OGs pointed me in the other direction, which was the right direction. That's because they loved you. They loved you. Tyra says, oh, shout out to you. Thanks for being you. She sent me the super stickers. Thank you, Tyra. I appreciate you. LA Miles says, that's how I first discovered you, AD, on Kev's IG Live. I've been subbed to Kev ever since he had 1,500 on YouTube. Shout out to my dog, LA Miles. I appreciate y'all. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I try to pack a major punch inside of a short live stream. I don't want this to be any more than an hour. We ain't got to go 4 hours. Most of my live streams is 2 hours or less. Occasionally, if you get really good on after hours, we'll go up to 3 hours. But most of my live streams is 2 hours or less. We don't have to spend a whole bunch of time. We mastering what it is that we do so we can be more effective in our messaging. And hopefully you catch the word in a shorter message. We ain't got to keep you no long time. Ain't no hooting and hollering over here. We just gonna get straight to it and we gonna give you the game. I love you. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna see y'all for the Millionaire Morning Show in the morning. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Stay out of the way, man. Pay attention to who you're spending your time around. God bless you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.